Live long and prosper, my world of rogues. It's your girl, Erin Rogoff, coming at you with another booktube video. Today, I'm going to be reviewing This World We Live In by Susan Beth Pfeffer. It is book 3 of the Last Survivor series, and it's a young adult fiction, dystopian fiction, end-of-the-world non-zombie novel. I breezed right through it, and I loved it, even though I'm a little iffy on the final book, which is The Shade of the Moon. Part of the Last Survivor series, there is Life as We Knew It, The Dead and the Gone, This World We Live In, and The Shade of the Moon. And This World We Live In is set a year after books 1 and 2, and we're back in Miranda Evans' point of view. Her dad and stepmom return with their newborn and a few other friends. Alex and Julie more or less a part of their group. And as Miranda falls for Alex, there's this devastating tornado that totally changes the game. So what will happen next? As for favorite characters, I'd have to say Miranda. She's a character who's growing into strength and has hope where there is so little. And I connected with her character when I read the first book in the series 10 years ago, as you know, because I haven't stopped talking about it yet. Anyway, least favorite characters, I would have to say none. I mean, all the characters are really diverse, strong and weak in their own point of views and ways, and that just kind of makes them relatable in some situations. However, there are some certain things about the characters that I don't like, but it doesn't warrant them being least favorite characters because they did nothing wrong. It's just their opinions, I might not have agreed with it. As for favorite scenes, I didn't actually have any, though I did like the long narrative of the end of the world, even though I don't usually like boring narratives. I'm curious as to why this one didn't bother me when, remember me talking about the Kingmaker-Kingbreaker series? That was like a long narrative and I hated it. And it was fantasy, my favorite genre. And then I read That Summer by Sarah Dessen, and that was a long narrative and I loved it. This book is another long narrative and I loved it. I don't know what it is about the Kingmaker-Kingbreaker series though. Anyway, getting back to the topic of This World We Live In, as for least favorite scenes, I disliked the scene where Miranda euthanized Julie with sleeping pills. And my only question for this is, will Alex find out in the next book, The Shade of the Moon? I know he will, but will he forgive Miranda or hate her? I don't know, so I've got to read The Shade of the Moon. Oh, and to note, The Shade of the Moon is supposedly the worst book in the series, and even though ratings and reviews have said that that's, like, literally the worst book, I still want to read it, even though I don't agree with what I've heard about John, Miranda's brother character. Anyway, my favorite quote in the novel: "The house is gone. Howell may be gone, but there's a world to live in, a world that needs us." That's a quote by Miranda's mom to Alex. And I think this quote is really philosophical. Everyone has a purpose in life, even if we don't know it just yet, but it will reveal itself to you. And that just made me think, what's my calling in life? All I've ever wanted to do is be a writer, and I have a manuscript now, and I'm working on publishing it. And if that didn't work out, I would write again, and again, and again. And if none of those worked, I would still want to be a mom, a wife and mother. That would be amazing. Anyway, as for ratings, the Goodreads rating is a 3.8 out of 5 stars, and my rating is a 4 out of 5 stars. And moving on to footnotes. Comparing the Last Survivor series to the Kingmaker-Kingbreaker series, again, both are long narratives, both have climaxes at the end of the novels. However, I hated The Innocent Mage and I love This World We Live In. And again, I've been writing science fiction, end-of-the-world short stories and fan fictions for the Last Survivor series, and I include my friends in these fan fictions, and my best friend Michaela now really wants to read the series too. So my library is completely open to her. Hi, Michaela! Anyway, I went on my Twitter page, which I will leave a link below, and I saw that Susan Beth Pfeffer herself liked my tweet about her. I felt like I was on cloud 9. It was that cool. Come to think of it, I get excited whenever something like this happens, but it's always like giving me that kid on Christmas feeling, you know what I mean? Anyway, that's it for today. So if you like this video, subscribe to my booktube channel below to get more videos like this. And again, live long and prosper, everyone.